So why she bring up? She didn't know that she was gonna die. She knew it because God already told her. But I mean, that wouldn't mean she didn't believe him from the get-go. So I mean that there was doubt from the beginning. She didn't believe him. That's what else we're faced with, right? Let me know if I'm not speaking truth. I'm just questioning. Oh, I was supposed to quiz y'all, huh? So her eyes were open. Or she's saying they weren't open. Or like I said, the aspect of being like God. Is being like God, meaning a totality where just the aspect of knowing good and evil, not with a separation there? Or are you saying that when you know good and evil that you are like God? And I said that that's not correct. I believe I did. I know I've thought it before. And he said you will be like God. He didn't say you will become God. He just said you'd be like God. So he didn't try to raise him up to the highest point. You will be like God. And so that likeness, that certain aspect of God is a knowledge of good and evil. And she thus knew good and evil because she knew evil, she knew trickery when she was being confronted by God and she said that the serpent deceived her. She knows deceit. Deceit on what? I mean, what is the opposite of deceit? You move away from deceit. And that's what it gets to. What? So she had knowledge of evil. Evil. You're such a hard word. But it's not if you hold evil being that which is not what? And then good, which is what? And then once you stop doing that, you're automatically doing something that's evil. Once you start speaking something other than what, you're doing something that's evil. Possibly. It's just a scenario. And then right there in Genesis chapter 3, verse 6. So when a woman saw that the tree was good for food. Why did she see that it was good for food? What I spoke about had nothing to do with food, with nutritional value. Serving our cravings and hunger, unless we're talking about something other than the body nourishment, but she was craving and hungering something else. Right? But why was she worried about it was good for food? Oh, it was an apple. She thus knew that it was high in, what's an apple, vitamin C? Or something like that? Is that what it is? She had a knowledge. feel good. And those vitamins and nutrients are good for your body, right? I'm sort of being facetious, but I don't know. That was pleasant to the eyes. And it looked good. Why would it matter that I look good? Why would it matter that I look good? Which eyes is it talking about? 2 or all 3? Good for food for thought. Then going back to she was craving. Could she be enough craving for something else? What could she have been craving for? Okay, for knowledge, food for thought. For knowledge or what? And I was also thinking about, yeah. Let's see. Genesis chapter 2, verse 20. So Adam gave names to all cattle, to the birds of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was not found a helper comparable to him. So, I've never heard it described in this fashion. I just never heard it described, expressed in a way that it was Adam himself who felt that these animals ain't doing nothing for me. They ain't as good as me. They said it's not comparable. They didn't compare in what way? In what way did the animals lack to him? Right? That isn't Adam. Because I've always just taken it as God was like, let me make him somebody else to go along with you, because it should be 2 of y'all, something like that. That's all the way I've always sort of understood it. Man, it's lonely. Let me ask somebody. But here it's saying that Adam was like, he was missing his dog. Yeah, but yeah, even what I mean, that's sort of funny. If he would have had a dog, right, and he should have been straight. Dog would have loved him unconditionally. But yeah, but Adam raised himself, right, above all else, and so that's sort of, I think, speaks ill about him, right? He was haughty. He said they weren't, but a helper compared to him. Maybe because animals couldn't help them. Like he needed to carry some wood. And he said, well, the chimp tries, but helping. So it had to be in essence of helping. But he had to build anything, right? God had a thing for him. What did he help with? Everything was provided for him, so what did he help with? Compared to him. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place. Then a rib which the Lord God had taken from man, he made into a woman. And he brought her to Adam. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. Oh, I didn't catch that part when I read last night. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. Because when they first ate the fruit, they were ashamed. And now they won't, because they're a man and wife. I gave them the right to have sex. But what I found interesting was become one flesh. The physical flesh, so is that meaning sex? Come together, become one flesh, or does it go deeper than that? Like flesh of the soul or something? What does that fully mean, to become one flesh? And then why talk about the being naked and not being ashamed? Because there's my wife and they can have sex. But why be ashamed? Once again, that brings in to my mind. Okay, what it takes me back to what I was thinking about when they realized they ate the fruit, they realized they were naked, and they were ashamed. Why were they ashamed? Everything is born naked. So why were they ashamed all of a sudden that it was wrong to be like everybody else? They were ashamed because that would mean they were just animals like everybody else, huh? They said, look, we're nothing but animals. Can't be like animals. Animals are naked. We must put some clothes on. We're better than animals. We're better than animals. Go back to Adam talking about, y'all boring me. I need some action. They were ashamed. Where's that at? Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves coverings. So he said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. Why the modesty all of a sudden? Why was it bad to be naked? At that point, well, because at that point in time, I mean, was there even a need for them to have sex? Would they have had sex in the Garden of Eden if things wouldn't have gone wrong, horribly wrong? Would sex been an issue? They still would have procreated, still would have been kids, but they've been automatically born in heaven. So all the generations, there's been generations born in heaven. Everything's probably live forever or something. Or would they procreate with the animals that were there? Would they just, everything live forever? Has anybody ever thought about that? But why ashamed of being naked? Why be ashamed? Was there anything else? Of course there is. There's what? Just wondering if you was paying attention. how long the video been going? 42. I got space on. I can talk. Just make sure it's still going. And then I sort of wondered, not sort of, I did wonder, why they had to put Adam to sleep. Why do they need to put him to sleep? Why can't you just done that? Or just automatically made one out of the dirt? Why they had to take it? Now Adam said, you know, what it was afterwards, but he just ended up describing what happened, right? He's associating with what happened, but why did God have to take it out of him? Why did he take the rib out? Why did they put him to sleep? Once again, couldn't he just made it morph out of him or something? Why did sleep? Why go to sleep? And how do we know that? How do we know that he even woke up? Maybe God realized he was tripping. He was starting to feel himself. He said, "Let me put this fool to sleep." So Adam been having a nightmare ever since, huh? If so, how would he wake up? It's like the thing of knowing when you're in a dream. Sometimes even being able to control your dreams. You know, say that you can do that. Really, some way focusing. At some point, you can train yourself to control your dreams. Sometimes you can control your dreams. That's in real life too, huh? Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Or maybe never ever really can. And so once you can realize you're in a dream, you can keep dreaming or you can wake up. It's your choice. But you can keep dreaming once you realize you got... If I could control my dreams and keep myself asleep, that might be cool in a way. Shit, I might never wake up. It'd be like I'm in a matrix. Controlling shit. But we know Adam ain't doing that because shit, if he was, then we're dreaming. We having a damn nightmare, ain't we? So it ain't that. But how we gonna wake him up? It's for us to wake him up. We're actually part of his dream and his realizing that he is asleep and want to wake up. But we got to realize that to wake ourselves up, to wake him up. How about that? And then I wonder about enclosed up the flesh in its place. I just wonder why specifying that flesh was put in its place. Or is I just saying that it's covering the hole? And that's the thing, interesting, there was a hole with the rib. And then relating it to Jesus getting in the rib. Inside the rib. And he was checking to see if that rib was there. That's what really was going on. See if he had a missing rib. I still want to wonder if there's somewhere here actually be telling us that the first man was a woman instead of the other way around. And then I wonder why, when they're banished, why was it decided that it would be the female that would have the babies when actually the first birth came from out of a man? So why didn't you have the man have babies? Why did he just... So when Adam was made, he was naturally born with a penis? And Eve had a vagina, so they were going to have sex? They had sexual parts? Once again, I guess they did. It meant they was going to have sex. Then why be ashamed? All right, but like I said, even if they did, well, then it would be assuming, okay, so if he was born, if Adam was naturally made with a penis, then it would have been assumed that he wasn't going to procreate in the first. Wait a minute. That, well, even still then, because I was thinking that his body would be made not to allow childbirth. You know, a woman's body is made to carry a child. A man isn't, unless it come out as penis, and actually it could have, right? Or it does, sperm. So why can't this man just could have had kids who just ejaculated, and the sperms could have grew up into children? And I'm sort of serious about that too. So like I said, why didn't have a female do it? Why sexual organs? And actually, when you look at it, she shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Well, isn't it really the word woman that encompasses man or holds within it man? It encompasses, right? But it has woman, actually has man inside of her. The word, woman. So, if anything, man could have been taken out of woman. So, it should be, you know, she will be called man because she was taken out of woman. And then, therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. All right, now going back to that, then also I was thinking, okay, so then once again we're thinking, we have to assume that that means there is sex, there's procreation. Adam and Eve, being husband and wife, have to have a kid for him to leave them, right? For that statement to be true. But then who is the wife that that first one will go join with? In a way, she will always already have to exist for him to leave them to go too. Because well, if they had a son first and had a daughter, he wouldn't be leaving. they both be leaving. All right. Oh, I hope that was funny. That was funny to me. All right. So that has to be the case, or there was another woman. There was a woman that existed. So where does other woman come from? And, or just saying later on after after the kids leave the house. Oh man. That actually brings me to the idea, subject of incest. Incest, and actually not just parent and child, but just all family, cousins, everybody involved. We hold that it's wrong. It's inappropriate, it's nasty, it's what all that, right? But it had to be done. Well, going off of this, it had to be done that way. And we know ultimately really what it comes down to, I mean, once again, to claim that it's wrong, what do we have to compare to it what do we have to compare to it to make it wrong? If we look within nature, oh, there it is again. We said, wait a minute, nature, in nature, look at these animals. He said, no, you say these animals, they're having sex with their offspring. But, and look how they act. Oh, look how they act. And that's something they do, that's part of their nature. And it's sort of like, then, well, you know, what's the nature of God? What is the nature of animals? That they have sex with each other. They're born naked, and they have sex with each other. And look at them. They're animals. We can't do that, because we be like them. Haughty taughty. So where would we get that from? Well, we know basically really it's a medical issue. Because once it's that small community, if any disease, actually, so it really was best for the advancement of life. Because any disease that's held within that small community will affect them more. It's like kids are dying out because kids are born with birth defects. And so they're going to die out. So it has to be, you know, you have to be able to split those genes more and those diseases and spread them out so that, you know, only a certain race of people get shit and stuff like that. But, yeah, so we know an aspect it's sort of necessary for human advancement. But the issue is, where does the inherent wrongness to it come from? Why is it inherently wrong? We're offspring. We put titles on ourselves: father, son, mother, daughter, aunts, uncles, cousins. And we put those titles in keeping track of our genealogy and whatnot, our roots. But they're words or titles, but it still is offspring, and ultimately offspring that we come from one. So we're just cells. Ultimately just higher organized series of cells that's doing the same as everything else around us, which is procreating. So why are we so damn special? And if we already got special, why don't we act like it? So then I will come to, well, I was thinking the third thing. Well, if we looked at animals and said that they're born naked, came back to animals. They have sex with each other. Ugh, those nasty beasts. Them always saying, and they're killing the fuck out of each other too. Let's stop being like the animals. Hey, I'm gonna leave it at that. God bless everyone. Peace and love.